Hi friends, this video is about how to do programming in 8086. Okay, first we see what we need to programming in 8086. We need a system, then we need a software to do a programming in 8086. Okay, what is a software? Okay, 8086 is a microprocessor. To do programming in a microprocessor, you need a special software called assembler. Okay, so what are the various assemblers that are in the market available to do the 8086 programming? So one of the popular assembler is TASM, TASM, TASM. That is developed by Turbo company. So you call it as a Turbo Macro Assembler. Okay, so and there are some other softwares that are also available like MASM and NASM. Okay, so just let me write those names. So we need softwares like TASM, MASM, NASM. Okay friends, this TASM is Turbo Assembler developed by a company Turbo, and this is MASM is the another assembler software developed by Microsoft, and this NASM is another assembler that is developed by NetWide company. Okay, so you can use any of these software to do programming in 8086. Okay, so if you are running a system in a Linux environment, then most probably use this NASM. Okay, or you can use this MASM software with Windows 7, 8 or 10. Okay, so this TASM can be used with either Linux or Windows operating system. Okay, so most of the times Windows operating systems we use TASM in Windows operating system. So in Linux, that means in Ubuntu kind of an environment, you can also use this TASM, where you will have a special software called TASM emulator. Okay, so you can use any of these software to do the programming in 8086. Okay, then how to write a programming 8086. Okay, so in this session I'll discuss programming in TASM software. Okay, so then I'll tell you how to write a program, how to assemble the program, how to link the program, then how to execute the program. Okay, so we'll divide this task into the various parts. Okay, so the software we are going to use is the TASM. So TASM is the Turbo Assembler. Turbo Assembler software. Okay, so we divide these things into the various tasks. Okay, so the first thing is you need to write the program, and second task is you need to assemble it, then you need to link it, and finally you need to execute it. Okay, this is third one and this is the fourth one, friends. Okay, so there are 4 stages to write a programming and to assemble and link and execute. Okay, so I'll discuss each and every part. Okay, so what is this writing a program? Okay, so if you want to write a program, you need an editor for that. Okay, this TASM software will provide a notepad kind of a editor where you can type your program. So writing program can be performed with an editor software where you can type, where you can cut, copy, paste, you can do all kinds of editing operations. So coming to the assemble. Okay, after completing my program, I need to assemble my program. Okay, so like if you are familiar with the languages like C, CPP, Java, where you will compile your program. Okay, so what does the compiler means? You will convert your C program into the object code. So similarly here we want to convert our assembly language program into the machine code. So that phase is called assembly. Okay, so the assembling will give you if there are any errors like syntax errors or something, or if there are any warnings, those will be displayed on the screen. Okay, and coming to the third part, link. Okay, so this linking is another important task in executing the programs. So there is a command called t-link. Okay, so that is a turbo linker is there. Okay, you need to link your program. Okay, so what is this linking is all about? Okay, if there are more than one module in your program, or if there are more than one program that you have written and you want to combine all those programs together and make a single executable module, then you have to perform this link. Okay friends, just remember that for every program you need to perform the t-link. That means you need to link the modules into a single executable module. After creating the executable module, then you can execute your program. Okay, so the execution can be done with a debugger or a td command, turbo debugger command. Okay, so I'll give you all these things in detail. Okay, and first of all we should know how to write a assembly language program. So we should know what is the outline or a structure of assembly language program. Okay, so I'll give you a simple structure to write a small program in assembly language for 8086 microprocessor. Okay, so let me tell you the structure of a 8086 program. Okay, the basic structure of a 8086 program is, so if there are any variables you want to declare, so that can be declared inside a special segment called data segment. Okay friends, so what is this segment is all about? Okay, segment is nothing but a memory part, or a part of the memory where your data is actually stored. Okay, so if you are using any kind of a variables like a memory operands, you need to declare them inside the data segment. Okay, for example, I want to do an operation called a plus b. Okay, just a program to add two numbers. Okay, so I store that result into the C. So this is my task. So I want to write a program to perform C equals to A plus B. Okay, so for this I need to declare three variables, that is A, B, C. Okay, so how I can declare my variables is, so inside a data segment I can declare my variable A, B, C. Okay, so how to allocate memory for A, B, C? Okay, for this there are some special commands are available in 8086. Those are called db, dw, dq, dt, dt, dd. Okay, what are all these things? These are called assembler directives. Okay, what do you mean by assembler directive? Assembler directive is the command given to the assembler. Okay, so just this is a beginning. Okay, so I'll just give you an example of a simple assembler that is called a db. So you need to declare them with db. So actually there should be some space between these two things. So another db, and this is also db. Okay, so db stands for define byte. That means I want to define a byte for my a. That means I want to reserve 8 bits or 1 byte of space for my variable a. Okay, so how you perform this operation C equals to A plus B? C equals to A plus B can be performed by assigning values to A and B. For example, for A I want to give a 5, for B I want to give some 7. Okay, then how can I give these values? So you can give these values with a space. So after db you can put a space here, then you can give the value 0, 5, then 0, 7. Okay friends, so how you do this programming in 8086 with the values is, whatever the value that you take in this assembler 8086 assembler is hexadecimal form. That means all the numbers will be in base 16 forms. Okay, so you represent the hexadecimal forms with hexadecimal numbers with a letter called h here. So you should have a suffix of h here. So that means I have declared a variable called a with db, that is a define byte, and this is a 05, and this is b db07h. This C is the result variable. So prior to the programming I didn't know its value, so I need to find it out. So I'll put a question mark for this. Okay, so whenever you want to find a value for a variable, so when you don't know the value, you can put a question mark for that, so that you can later assign value to that variable. Okay, so this is the declaration part. Okay, so I'll close this segment. Okay, remember friends, whenever you open a segment, you have to close that segment with a command called endes. Name of the segment followed by endes. Okay, so this is how you create the variables in the data segment. Okay, so what is this segment? Segment is another assembler directive that tells you that this is one logical segment. The name you have given for this logical segment is data. Okay, it is not mandatory to give the name always as a data. You can give your any kind of a name. Okay, you can give your own name also. Okay, so this is a data segment. What is the purpose of this data segment? The data segment is used to declare memory operands or variables. Okay, so it is used to declare memory operands. Memory operands. Okay friends, so this is a how you declare a data segment. Okay, then the logic of the program should be written in one segment, that is called code segment. Okay, so the another segment we basically use in a program is code segment. So this is the starting of my code segment, and there should be one line should be in every program, that is called assume command. Okay, assume command. Okay friends, this assume command is another assembler directive that tells you to the assembler what is the name of the code segment that you have given and what is the name of the data segment that you have given. Okay, there are some other two segments will be there which are optional. Those are stack segment and extra segment. Okay, so in this program I am using only data segment and code segment, so I have to tell to my assembler that these are the names of the code segment. Okay, so you may be wonder that okay, so what is the need of telling a data segment and code segment, because you are telling that the name of the data segment is always data and the name of the code segment is always code, then what is the need of telling those names to the assembler? Okay, so here what is the logic is you can give your own names to these segments. So it is a mandatory thing, you need to specify what is the name that you have given to these data segment and code segment. Okay, so in this case assume command can be written as assume followed by space and cs colon code comma ds colon data. Okay, so what are these two things, cs and ds? So cs is a code segment register, ds is a data segment register. Okay, what are these two things? In order to access code segment, you have to have two addresses. One is called its base address and another one is called its offset address. The base address of the code segment will be taken into the CS and the base address of the data segment will be taken into the DS. These two things are the registers. Okay, then how can I access the offset address? Because if you want to access any segment, you need two values. One is its base address and another one is its offset address. Okay, the default offset addresses of all code segment statements will be taken into a register called IP. Similarly, the offset addresses of data segment will be taken into the SI. Okay, so there is no need to specify those two things. All you have to specify is what are the names that you have given to the code segment and a data segment. So I have specified here with my command called assume here. Okay, then the next part of the program is a label called start should be there. Start. Okay, just look at this. Start is a label. Label means that is a name. So any label that will be followed with a colon symbol. Colon. Okay, what is the significance of this start label? Start label will tell you to the assembler that this is the starting point for the execution. Okay, so like the main function you use in C program where your C program execution starts, similarly the execution of any assembly language program in TASM software will start with a label called start. Okay, so this is a mandatory label that should be there in your program. Okay, so then what you have to do? The first thing you have to perform is you have to initialize the data segment. Okay, so why I need to initialize data segment? If you want to access any of the operands, that means the variables from the data segment, you have to initialize the data segment manually. Okay, so how to initialize a data segment? So all you have to do is you need to get the segment base address, the data segment base address into DS. Okay, can I do this something like this? Move DS comma seg space data. Okay, what does it mean? Data is the name of the data segment. Seg is another assembler directive that retrieves the base address of the data segment, and you are moving that address into the DS. DS is the data segment register. Okay, so this is a simple instruction that is moving the base address of the data segment into DS. But this is not working. Okay, so here there is a problem with this. Your assembler does not allow the direct transfer of base address of a data segment into DS. You cannot do this. Then how can I do this? So instead of DS, take any general purpose register like AX, BX or CX, DX. I am taking here AX. So this will give the base address of data into AX. Then again I'll move that base address from AX into DS. Okay, so I have to write move DS comma AX. Remember friends, the move instruction is a data transfer instruction that move data from source to the destination. Okay, so which one is source and which one is destination? Always the first one is the destination and the second one is the source. Okay, remember friends, so the source is at a rightmost place. So the always the data will be transferred in this direction only. Okay, so then there is some optional chance is available here. Okay, so you can omit this seg. Okay, so even though you are not writing that seg, still that will retrieve the base address. Simply you can write it as a move AX comma data. Okay, so what is this? These two statements are used to initialize the data segment. Okay, I can call it as initialization of data segment. Initialization of a data segment. Okay, so these two statements should be mandatory when there is a data segment in your program. Okay, so then what is the next step? So you need to take the two operands into two registers, then add them, then you will get the sum. Okay, then how can I take my values into the registers? Simply use the move instruction. Okay, that will move the variable value into register. Okay, how can I do that? Okay, so what is the size of my variable here? That is a db, means that is a 8-bit value. So this will do this move al comma a. So this will move the value of a into the register al. Okay, so there is a comment facility is also there in the 8086. Okay, so the symbol that we use to write comments is a semicolon. Okay, so here I can write a comment like this. Okay, so if I want to write a comment, so simply I'll put a semicolon over here. Okay, I can write it as al will get the value a. Okay, so this is how I can write the comment. Okay, so this is you have taken one operand into the al. So I can take another operand into another register. So I can take B value into BL. Okay, so I will transfer the value of the second operand B into BL register. Okay, so my values are available in AL and BL. Then what I can do, simply perform the addition between the AL and BL registers. So I can write it as add AL comma BL. Add AL comma BL. So what does it do? So it will add both the registers AL, contents of AL added to the contents of BL, and the result is again stored into the AL. So just look at this, add AL comma BL. This is operand 1, this is operand 2, both will be added, and this will be obviously works as a destination for this. Okay, so here I am just writing a comment. Okay, so what is this is all about is AL will get the sum of AL plus BL. This is how I can write a comment for this. Okay, so I have performed the addition and I got my value. Okay, then what you will do, you have to transfer your result into the third variable, that is a C. Since I have declared C to store my sum value, so I need to transfer the contents of AL register into C. How I can do this? Use another move instruction. That's simple. So you can write it as move C comma AL. That's it. So that will move the result which is in AL into C. Okay, so that is end. Okay, so I have completed all the logic. I have got my sum value into my variable, that is a C or memory operand C. Then I have to close my program execution. Okay, how I can close my program execution? So some of the people will use an instruction called halt. HLT halt. Okay, this halt instruction will terminate the program execution abruptly. Okay, so that terminates the program execution abruptly. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I don't want to close my program abruptly. So I want to close my program with some written code, and I want to perform some exit operation. Okay, so how I can do that? So for that you need to write two statements. Okay, so just let me write the statements here. I'm writing those statements here. So all I have to do is move AH comma 4CH interrupt INT interrupt 21H. Okay, so what are these two statements? These two statements are called DOS interrupt statements. You can see here INT stands for interrupt and 21H is the type number for that interrupt. What is that int 21H type number? Okay, so that interrupt is used to exit your program execution and with the written code in the register AL. Okay, so what does it mean? Okay, it will close the program execution and you will be directed to the command prompt or the terminal. Okay, so that is the logic. So if you want to properly close the execution of your program, so you have to write these two things. You need to take the value 4C into AH then into 21H. Okay, so you may be wonder that what is that value 4C? Okay, who have determined that value 4C should be moved into the AH? This DOS interrupts into 21H interrupts are having some default values which should be moved into the AH that will perform some operations. Okay, what are those values? If I move 0, 1 value into AH, that is used to read a single character. If I move 0, 2 into AH, that will print a single character on the screen. Okay, similarly you can use all the numbers. Okay, then one of the number is a 4C. Okay, just remember that the value is a 4C, which is a hexadecimal value. You need to move your 4C value into AH, then call the interrupt 21H. That will properly closes the execution of your program. Okay, so this is how you close the execution of the program. Then I should close my code segment, because every segment that you have created in your program, that should be properly closed. Okay, the every segment that is created in the program, that should be closed or terminated. Okay, so how I can close my segment? With a directive called ends. Okay, so the code segment can be terminated with code ends. Then how can I close the total program? For closing the total program, I have to use another command directive that is called end. So I should write it as end start. Okay, so that will end the total program. Okay, so if you write anything after end, that cannot be considered as a part of the program. Okay, then how can I assemble it, how can I link it, and how can I execute my program? Okay, so for that I'll just write those steps here. Okay, so the program should be saved as add.asm. The file extension should be .asm. So for assembling, the command should be tasm followed by program name, that is add.asm. This command will assemble my program and gives me if there are any syntax errors or warnings. If there are no errors and warnings, it tells me that no errors and warnings, and I have to perform the link operation. That means t-linking. So for linking, the command is t-link add.obj. Okay, so what is this .obj? Okay, where does it come from? Okay, this obj stands for object file. When you compile your assembler program, that will convert into the object file. So that automatically changes the file extension from .asm to .obj. And the next thing is execution part. So execution can be done in two ways, by using debug command, debug followed by add.exe. Okay, where does this exe came from? Exe stands for executable file. After linking your program, your file converted from object to executable file. So you should write it as add.exe, or I can use another command called td add.exe. Okay, so there are two commands to run your program. Okay, so how it looks like when you execute a program. Okay, I'll show you this. Okay, so let me wipe this program. So there will be a cursor will be looks like this. Okay, cursor or some hyphen kind of a thing will be there, and you need to type T. T stands for trace. This stands for trace. So that will show you the execution of your program line by line. So I should write a T and I should type enter. So what does it give? It shows the contents of all the registers. So it displays something like AX equals to some value, some 0F3CH, then BX value, some 4 digit CX value, 4 digit DX value, 4 digits, then it prints CS, DS, SS, ES, then SP, BP, IP, SI, DI and flags. Okay, you can see all the information of all these registers. Okay, so what is the use of displaying all these things? Okay, when you execute a statement something like this, move AL comma A, which is from the program. So what does it mean? You're moving the value of A into AL. Okay, so if I am talking about the register AX, okay, there are 4 digits here. These 2 belongs to AL, that is lower byte, and these 2 belongs to AH. Okay, for example, if this is the previous value 0F and instead of 3C, the value of A, that is 05, will be moved here. Okay, so you can see the contents of the register AX. Similarly, the contents of BX, CX, all the general purpose registers, all the pointer registers, index registers, even including flags. You can see all those values so that you can check whether what is happening inside the memory. That is the beauty of this programming, friends. Okay, the 8086, when you are executing your program, you can see actually what are the changes that are changing the values of these registers. You can check this and you can cross check whether you are performing the correct operations or not, or whether your code is right or not. Okay, so you can see all these things. Okay, so keep on, you'll try to type -T and enter. It will takes you to the end. Okay, when you reaches this int 21H, move AH comma 4CH int 21H, that says that program is terminated. Okay, so just before reaching into 21H, okay, if you want to see the result, okay, so if you want to see the result, all you have to type is, okay, so you will do all these things. Okay, all you have to type is -D. Instead of T, you have to type D. D stands for display. Okay, so what do you want to display? I want to display the data segment from the address 4 zeros. Okay, so this is the command, friends. Okay, just type this and press enter. That will display all the memory contents. Okay, what are the memory contents? Okay, so what is there in the memory? There is your number 05, that is A value, followed by 07, that is a B value, and 5 plus 7 means that is a 12. What do you mean by 12 in hexadecimal? That is a C. So you can see 0C and some extra values. That means you can see the memory map 05, 07, 0C. Okay, so you may be wondering that, okay, so what is this values, or where does all these values has come? Okay, so for understanding the execution of the program, okay, all you have to do is just draw a rough figure for data segment. Okay, so I'm just trying to explain the things that how your data segment will look like inside the memory. Okay, so for that I want to draw some figure. With the help of that figure, I'll try to explain. Okay, so how your data segment looks like. Okay, what you have written in the data segment? Okay, just again I'm just writing that data segment here. Data segment, there is A, B, C, and this is DB, and this is also DB. DB stands for defined byte, and I have given the value 05H, 07H, and I need to find this value, and this is data NS. NS means end of the segment. Okay, so for this I want to draw the figure. Okay, so just look at this figure. This is the data segment. So this figure is a data segment figure. Okay, so this data segment grows in upward direction. Okay, so what does it mean? The bottom byte is having an address called 4 zeros. Okay, so this is address. This is the address. The starting address will be 4 zeros. Okay, then what is the last address? The last address is always 4 Fs. Okay, so this is how these addresses will be look like. Okay, so this is the 4 zeros, and the next byte address is 0001, and the next byte address is 0002, and the next byte address is 0003. Okay, and goes on until 4Fs reaches. Okay, so what you have done in this data segment, you have declared a variable called a with a db. That means 1 byte is allocated for a, so you can call this as a, and you have initialized the value 05. So here 05 is stored. Okay, then you have declared another variable called b, so the immediate next byte will be given to the b, and you have assigned a value called 07 here, and the third byte is reserved for c, and you are putting a question mark here. That means this will have zeros. Okay, so this is how your data segment will look like inside the memory. Okay, so what happens when this occurs? This particular instruction will add both the registers, that is AL and BL. Okay, so in the program what you have done, you have transferred the value A into AL and value B into BL. Okay, then you perform addition of AL and BL, so that will add 5 plus 7 and put the result 12 in AL. So then what you're doing in the program, we have doing this move C comma AL. Okay, that means you are moving the result, okay, C 0C into C. Okay, so 0C, what is 0C? That is a value 12. So the result 12 will be moved here. This means 0C will be here. Okay, so this is a picture. Okay, so this is the these are the items that you are actually printing with this -d command. So ds colon 4 zeros. Okay, so where you have printed this 05 followed by 07 followed by 0C. This is A, this is B, and this is C. Okay, so this is how your output will look like. Okay friends, so this is the concept of the how you start programming in 8086. Okay, how you name the program, how you assemble it, how you link it, and how you execute it. Okay, I have written a small program for addition of two numbers. Hope you understand the program. Hope this program will helpful for you to learn programming in 8086. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you. Bye.